we are unable to stand up and speak up and push back just like other races do. You take, for example, as I was speaking to you today from Zimbabwe, our ancestors, namely Mbuyane and Kaguvi, who were murdered by the British centuries ago, their remains are still in jars in Europe today. When Zimbabwe became independent in 1980, that was one of the very first things the leaders did, is to request the remains of our ancestors for proper burial. Fast forward 2022, those remains are still sitting in jars in the United Kingdom. Zimbabwe is not alone. Many African countries, our ancestors are littering basements in Europe in jars. They are refusing to give us back our ancestors for proper burial. How long do you think a finger of a British soldier lasts in Zimbabwe? How long do you think a finger of a German soldier lasts in Namibia? How long do you think a thumb of a Portuguese soldier lasts in Angola? A French soldier in Algeria? Not even an hour. They would storm into those countries, kill thousands of people, only to recover those little fingers. But in our case, because as Africans, oh, who cares? So it is, we're not able to push back, fight back, to address some of those very, very basic abuses of human rights. Let's look at the World Bank. As I speak to you from Zimbabwe today, 6.5 billion of Zimbabwe's 11 billion GDP goes towards loan repayment. 6.5 billion out of 11 billion goes towards loan repayment. That is unacceptable, and it's not sustainable. Zimbabwe is not alone. Many other countries in Africa, on the average 33 to 40% of the country's GDPs are going towards loan repayment. Let's look at the unfair practices coming out of the World Trade Organization, where for centuries we've not been allowed to add value to our natural resources, where it was strategically put in place a system to make sure that Africa is a provider of natural resources with no added value. We create labor, we create jobs for the Western world, while our own children, millions of them, are struggling. Those are some of the basic things that I feel, just simple example, how we could fight back, how we could push back, which is really the natural and normal thing to do, but we're unable to do so. Why? In some cases, we're just afraid. We're afraid of sitting in front of another person who doesn't look like us, and we suddenly become mute. We have multinationals who are ripping Africa, robbing Africa in broad daylight, billions of dollars getting out of Africa. Safe havens, they underreport what they have mined, and of what they have reported, they are reporting having sold for much less than what they actually sold for. The abuse is blatant, from illegal mining to illegal sale of wildlife. You name it, the abuse is everywhere. The NGOs who come to Africa for the sake of exploiting the continent in the name of saving the continent. I'm highlighting some of the few abuses because if our young people are going to be leaders of tomorrow, they need to know today, they need to understand today what is being done to our beloved continent. Otherwise, there'll simply be other leaders who are going to be raised to be afraid of those who don't look like us. Let's go back to the genesis of why we were being called black. We were not black before the Westerners came to Africa. They were not white before they came to Africa. Think about it. When they came to teach us colors in school, there were so many other colors: yellow, green, orange, black,